Yo, what is going on, everybody? Guys, I'm gonna be honest, this isn't gonna be like the sexiest video in the world. This video is really like the raw truth, and the struggles that I've dealt with. There's a lot of people out there and all these gurus talking about how great their lives are and, you know, everything that they've accomplished, but it's not all sunshine and rainbows. And I've built multiple seven-figure companies, and I'll be honest with you, it doesn't matter how much money you make. What matters is how much you keep. It doesn't matter how big your company gets. What matters is how long do you own that company for? How long does that company last? Is it gonna grow and scale for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years? Or is it all gonna come crumbling down in the next 2 months, right? So I wanna talk to you guys about the hard truths and the biggest mistakes that I've made after building multiple seven-figure companies before I could legally drink. Now, if you guys don't already know me, my name is Jared Curry, and I've built 2 seven-figure marketing companies, and I've exited both of them before the age of 21, and now I make content on YouTube about scaling online businesses and SMMA specifically. So I'm super excited for this video. First thing that I want to bring up is getting comfortable, right? And I got so freaking comfortable after I scaled my agency. We hit 300K per month with our agency at our peak, right? Now, we didn't do that every single month consistently, but that was the peak. It was a consistent 7-figure agency. My partner Matt and I, we were making a lot of money, relatively speaking, for our age, right? Like, we were profiting a really good amount. And, you know, I was driving a nice car, I was traveling. I could pretty much go in anywhere and buy whatever I wanted. And I lost the drive. And guys, this is one of the scariest things that I think any entrepreneur can go through. And that's why I'm telling you this now, right? And I want you to keep listening because I don't want you to make the same mistakes that I made on this journey of entrepreneurship, right? It's cool to be grateful and to be happy where you're at, but this is not the end goal. This is not the finish line. You still have a lot more fight in you. We still have to keep going. It doesn't matter how successful you become, right? And a lot of times I see so many of these young entrepreneurs, they get some level of success and they just stop. They just stop growing. They stop reinvesting in themselves. And one day, my partner Matt, and when he told me this, is my old partner now because we don't run the agency anymore. But he told me, dude, what happened? You used to invest in coaches and reinvest in yourself all the time, and then you just stopped. And when he first said that, I actually took it a little personally because I felt like an attack. But in reality, he was just being extremely honest with me. And I took it so personally, but in reality, he was just telling me that I wasn't growing. And one day I told him, dude, I don't know if I want to be an entrepreneur anymore. Maybe I'll just become a cop. That's literally what I told him. Maybe I'll just be a cop full time. And he said, dude, I don't think that's what you're destined for. And I looked at him and I was like, in my head, I'm like, how dare you tell me what I want from my life? And looking back, Matt is such a great guy and literally like a brother to me. Looking back, I realized, holy crap, he was right. He wasn't telling me not to go after my dreams, but he was telling me I have so much more to contribute to this world and my skill sets wouldn't be maximized to its fullest potential and I wouldn't be able to give back to the full extent that I should be able to or can if I go down that route. And he was telling me to think bigger, right? Think bigger and let's grow. Let's keep leveling up. And for an entire year, I pretty much sat at home. The agency was just printing money and I was playing video games, eating whatever I felt like, and quite frankly, just living my best life. And I think there's a time and a place for that, and that was pretty cool for a period of time, but I lost so much momentum. You see, so many people, they get that momentum and they just stop. That's the time to double down. That's the time to go even harder, right? Because wherever you think you're at right now, if you feel like you've made it to the top, I promise you, there is another level. There's a whole nother level to explore, a whole nother world out there. And there are levels to this game, guys. So if you feel as though, you know, you're comfortable and you can't figure out how to grow, that's the time you need to start getting in different rooms. The reason why you probably feel that way is because you're hanging around a bunch of people to where you're viewed as the pinnacle of success, to where you're viewed as like the most successful person out there. It's the case. If you're the most successful person in the room, you're in the wrong room. You're hanging around the wrong people, and you need to expand your network, right? You need to start hanging around people that are doing 10 times more than you, because that's going to inspire you to work significantly harder. That's going to inspire you to level up, to grow, to keep investing in yourself, and that's going to prevent you from being stuck. That's going to prevent you from backtracking, right? It took literally years. It took me about 4 to 5 years to have the success that I have now. And you can lose all of that in 4 to 5 months if you're not continuously doing what got you to where you're at. And that leads me to my next point, right? This is point number 3. Whatever you did 3, 4, 5 years ago to get to where you're at, you need to look back at that, remember that, and do even more of that now. Don't forget where you came from, because where you came from to where you're at now is literally the blueprint that you're gonna have to leverage to get to that next level again, right? You typically just have to do the same thing, just way more effort. So whatever you guys do, don't take the foot off the gas. And if you guys have to get in bigger rooms with people that are doing way more, that's what you need to do. Invest in the mastermind. Even if you think you know it all, right? Because once again, at the end of the day, if you're the biggest person in the room, it's good for the ego, it's not good for the bank account, because you're gonna slowly start going downhill. And I know because I've been there. So be careful, guys, because when you get that false sense of confidence that you made it, oh my goodness, it's hard to go away from that. It's hard to reverse that. It's hard to get back on the right track. And one thing that's gonna help you is remembering you're such a small speck. There's trillions, quadrillions of dollars in circulation. Whatever you think you've done, whatever success you've had, I promise you, it is a joke, especially if you're doing SMMA, 300K a month. We view agencies doing 300, 400K a month as a huge accomplishment. Guys, there's companies out there doing $300,000 a minute. $300,000 a minute. You are so small, and there's so much more growth that you have to make up for. So don't forget that. The next huge mistake that I made was not being vulnerable, right? Once you have some level of success, relative success, people start looking up to you. And you look at yourself and you're like, oh shoot, I can't be vulnerable. I can't go out there and ask for help, because if I do that, people aren't gonna think the same about me. They're not gonna think I'm as smart as they think I am. They're not gonna think I'm as successful as they think I am. And I'm gonna lose all of that ego boost, right? And that's what I was scared of. Right? You have to be okay with being vulnerable. You have to be okay with asking for help. Even people that might be at a lower level than you, or what you would say is a lower level, because you can learn from everybody, right? So be vulnerable. When there's a challenge, when you're trying to overcome something, you can ask for help. When I was getting started, when I was learning, when I was scaling my agencies, I would ask everyone for advice, everyone for help. I would network with everyone. Once I got to that level, I felt as though I didn't have to do that. I felt like people should be coming to me for advice. I shouldn't be going to other people. After hanging around so many super successful people that are higher level than me, one thing I've learned is that they're always asking other people questions. They're always asking other people for advice. They're not the ones dispensing it. When the unfortunate events happened on September 11th, Americans kind of united, right? They were more united than ever before. And typically when there's an act of terror, or a threat, or another enemy, there's less division in America and other countries, and more of a united front, right? So you pretty much want to create what I call the 9/11 effect, right? And that's where you find an enemy. Once I hit 300K, I had no more enemies, and that's, once again, I wasn't in big enough rooms, right? You want to have an enemy. There's always the saying of, you're not competing with anyone but your future self. Yes, that's true to an extent, but guys, business entrepreneurship is a sport. And in sports, there's other teams, and those teams are competition, right? So you need to have a competitor. You need to have an enemy that you can attack, an enemy that you can have in your mind, like, I need to beat this person. I need to do better than this person, right? Not because, you're doing it for the ego bump where other people care about you. You're doing that because that's gonna just motivate you. That's gonna raise your standards, right? That's gonna help you get to that next level. Know the next milestone, know the next North Star, because when you find the next North Star, you can see who's there, and that can be your enemy. Now, with your enemy, the biggest thing is keep your friends close, but your enemies even closer. You want to network. You want to connect with those enemies. You don't want to, start isolating yourself and trying to share all your secrets and get that scarcity mindset. You want to maintain an abundance mindset. So guys, that's all I got for you. Once again, I built 2 successful 7-figure marketing agencies. And quite frankly, I feel as though I lost both of them. So if you want to make sure you don't make the same mistakes that I've made, make sure you take what I just said to heart. So keep growing, keep leveling up, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. Yo, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you liked it, make sure you smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, and turn on bell notifications so I can see you in the next one. And last but not least, make sure you guys check out one of these fire videos that the YouTube algorithm just hand selected for you. And guys, if you want to work with me on a one-on-one basis so I can help you scale your agency and take it to new heights like I've done in the past, because I've built 2 7-figure marketing agencies before I could legally drink, go ahead, click down below, fill out an application, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace.